Amanda Argametta, who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2022 CR 11474W for the offense of unauthorized use of a vehicle on December 6, 2022 for a period of 3 years. Is that you?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. State.
Violated condition number 1 on or about the 23rd day of March 2023 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant, Amanda Argametta.
Argumento.
Okay, I can't say that. Committed the offense of theft, 2,500 to 30,000 vehicle in violation condition number 1.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
Your Honor, we'll waive the remaining violated conditions.
Any objections to the
Your Honor,
waivers?
What we're asking.
No. Any objections to the waivers?
No.
All right. Ms. Argametta, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 1, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find violation of condition number 1 true. Is there an agreement?
No, there is not, Your Honor.
State, what are you requesting?
Revocation, Your Honor.
Defense, what are you requesting?
Your Honor, there was an agreement in that they were going to TIC and dismiss the new charge.
That is correct.
She is requesting the court to allow her to stay on probation. Whoops, I can't get around here.
Mhm.
With 4 documents, their certificates of classes she's attended while she's been in the jail.
Any objections to the court reviewing this?
No, Your Honor. The state has reviewed those.
Okay.
As we said earlier, Your Honor, this young lady had been evaluated for competency, was found competent. She wants to stay on probation, and what she would like to do is have you put her in outpatient treatment. At the same time, I've advised her that if you do keep her on probation, that there is a high probability that there would be residential drug treatment. As you can see, she's taken some anger management classes, and the AA classes, and I don't understand what the other one. It looks like it's a dignity class for women, and I don't know what the basis for that was.
All right, probation.
Probation recommendation is to revoke due to the new felony offense, and she absconded with non-compliance.
All right. Ms. Argametta, is there anything you wish to say?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. You can lower your hand if you'll state your name for the record.
My name is Amanda Argamento, and I would like to have a second chance on probation. I will attend the classes. I will go to everything. I was still on my drug problems like then, but I'm completely done with it. The thought of drugs, like I do not even want to think of it. Makes me want to puke. Like just thinking back and hearing my kid's voice, my daughter's voice. My kid's dad is willing on getting back with me, getting the family back together, and I just really want to go back to that.
How old are your children?
3 and 4, ma'am.
All right. And who's taking care of them?
Their father.
All right. So were your parental rights terminated?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
So you just dropped them off with the father?
I decided to leave when I was on drugs, and yes, I was really bad on them, but I did stop.
All right. So what have you done on probation other than pick up new cases?
I did not attend because I was just.
No, I mean, have you done anything?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else from either side? Any other questions?
Not from the state, Your Honor.
All right. You have a question?
Why should the judge believe that you're going to do what you have said you're going to do and that you didn't do last time?
Because I'm really committed to it. I'm honestly, and I apologize for not going to my probation and everything. Like, I apologize. I'm really committed to completing it this time.
And why did the previous attorney have you evaluated for competency?
And we didn't talk about the case, right? And
Okay. And you're not on any medication now in the jail?
No, sir.
No other questions, Your Honor?
All right. Any questions from the state?
No, Your Honor.
State, what are you requesting? I know you're requesting revocation. The court is going to grant the motion. The court is going to find you guilty, and the court will not grant you community supervision. State, how much time are you asking for?
The state was requesting 12 months in the state jail facility, Your Honor.
Defense, what are you requesting?
Your Honor, she currently has 116 days in Bear County Jail on this case, and we're asking the court to grant her a request for 6 months sentence.
All right. If you want, at the state jail facility, they do have a therapeutic community, and that does not increase the time that you have been in custody. If I were to sentence you to 6 months or 12 months or 18 months, that will still be your sentence. And therapeutic community is just there to help you. Would you like that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the court is going to find you guilty. The court will sentence you to 18 months in the state jail facility. Ask that you be placed in the therapeutic community. You're still going to have to request it. Do you understand?
Yes.
Give you credit for any time served. Going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you do have a limited right to appeal. That right to appeal is as it relates to the allegation in the motion, not the fact that you were on community supervision. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. So, Ms. Argumento, I always review everything. And when you were placed on deferred adjudication, and here there were several cases that were taken in consideration. And so the only thing that you've done since you were on probation with me was pick up another theft case, and you're on probation for unauthorized use. You're going to have to make a decision on what you want to do with the rest of your life.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do not, when you get out, go running to be with your children, because at this point in stage, you haven't been a mother to them, and you can't go running on their doorstep, creating chaos and upheaval. If you get your life together, you can probably slowly enter their life. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Good luck to you. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. State of Texas versus
Yarbrough.
Yarbrough. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Zach Dunn for the state.
Suzanne
Defense.
Kramer for Mr. Yarbrough.
And are you Mr. Yarbrough?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You entered a plea of burglary of a habitation with intent to commit felony force. According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 5 years in the prison. There's a $1,500 fine. State is silent on your application, and this will run concurrent with 696-403. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report, state?
Yes, Judge.
Defense?
Yes, Judge.
Any objections to the PSI report, state?
Nothing from the state.
Defense? All right, Mr. Yarbrough, you entered a plea on August 21st of no contest. I reviewed the stipulations. I'm unsure if it was said on the record, but I believe it was by Judge Angelini. The court is finding that there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court is deferring finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. State is silent on your application. Defenses, do you have any witnesses?
No, Judge.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, I believe the PSI speaks for itself. It speaks to the love that his family has for this. I have had many conversations with Mr. Yarbrough about him needing to, that you're going to want an explanation for what was he thinking that day, because he's basically a good kid. You know, he doesn't get into trouble, and he's been taking full responsibility for all of his actions. And I think he's a great candidate for deferred adjudication probation on this, especially when the complainant forgives him, doesn't want him, is fine with him getting probation, and kind of wants them back in their lives, although there isn't no contact with her. But she doesn't have the child. She's the grandmother. So he said it's okay if you keep that no contact while he's on the deferred.
All right. Can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
You can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Yarbrough.
All right. So before I begin asking you questions,
Yes, ma'am.
I want to tell you something right here now. Whenever my brothers were late for their curfew that my mom set down, you know what they would always try to tell her? I don't belong in a gang. I haven't committed any crimes. I don't do any drugs. So don't give me that, you know, all right?
Yes, ma'am.
Because people who are obeying the law shouldn't be doing any of that.
Yes, ma'am.
So how old is your daughter?
She's just turned 3 in July 17th.
All right, so,
Yes, ma'am. And I have another one on the way due in November. Next week will be the mother of my child's 8th month.
all right, and is this the mother of the other child as well?
No, ma'am.
All right, so you're just procreating,
Yes, ma'am.
all right? And now you understand where babies come from?
Yes, ma'am.
And if you can't support your children, you should not be having a lot of children, you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so why were you smoking marijuana?
Coping mechanism.
All right, so it is very bad for a child to come to their grandmother's house smelling like marijuana.
Yes, ma'am.
So do you think it's appropriate for your children to smoke marijuana?
No, ma'am, not at all.
Well, that's what you did with your baby. Because if you're smoking marijuana around them, which obviously you were, because otherwise the baby wouldn't smell like marijuana, the baby's clothes wouldn't smell like marijuana, we would not be here.
Yes, ma'am.
And you understand that the grandmother loves her grandchild
Yes, ma'am.
and wants what's best for her grandchild.
Yes, ma'am.
Wouldn't do anything to hurt her grandchild.
Most definitely. Yes, ma'am.
You've been doing things to hurt your grandchild. I mean, to hurt your child. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
So are you diagnosed mentally with anything?
ADHD, but that's all. That's no excuse. No.
No, there is not.
Yes,
You should
ma'am.
not be using marijuana. And
Yes,
the
ma'am.
court is not going to allow you to use marijuana in this court while you're on probation. It is illegal in Texas to use marijuana.
Yes, ma'am.
If I grant your application for deferred adjudication, and if you use marijuana while you're on probation, guess what? A motion to revoke is going to be filed and you're looking at life in prison.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
it's up to you to decide whether potentially going to prison for life is worth that. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So are you employed?
I will be as soon as I get out. That's no problem.
Have you been employed before?
Yes, ma'am.
Doing what?
Warehouse and construction, manual labor, irrigation, road work, Amazon warehouse.
All right. And how old are you?
I just turned 26 in July.
All right. And how far did you go in school?
I have my high school diploma and I have my associates in St. Philip's College,
And what?
art.
And what are you planning on doing with this art degree?
I really want to own my own business, but it's steps to that. I still have to pick up the knowledge, but
Okay.
more is to
So
come.
how does, and you know, I think art is great. One of my brothers was great in art and still is great in art, but how does you going to get your art degree translate into, I want to own my own business? Is your art going to be connected to that?
Yes, ma'am. Starting cartoons, drawing magazines, trying to get it in the newspaper,
So what
Things like
steps are you going to take to do that?
owning my own name, business logo, business account.
Okay.
Still learning and picking up the knowledge to do so.
All right. And how often were you using marijuana?
I say twice a week.
Nobody uses marijuana twice a week.
I get drug tested at my job, so
You figured out when you could get a negative test?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. And have you used anything other than marijuana?
Alcohol, but that's occasionally birthdays, holidays, Thanksgiving. You know,
While you're on
Christmas.
probation, you're not allowed to drink alcohol. You understand?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All right. This is what the court will do. Court will sentence you to 10 years, deferred adjudication. I'm going to request parenting classes. And you're very lucky that the grandmother didn't want you to go to prison. So we're going to do parenting classes, 200 hours of community service restitution. If he enrolls or obtains a business certificate so you can better yourself and completes the parenting classes, the community service hours will be deemed satisfied. So to satisfy those 200 hours of community service restitution, you can go out and do community service hours, or either you can better yourself. And bettering yourself would mean you take parenting classes and you get a certificate or something that shows me you're taking steps to accomplish in life what you want to accomplish.
Yes, ma'am.
There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. When's the last time you used marijuana?
5 months ago.
All right, so he should be clean. So when he's released, we're going to do a UA. If for some reason when he's released, it's positive for marijuana, start testing for levels.
And just to let you know, he's set on the DWI tomorrow. I'm not his lawyer on that, but it's a JSAT, so he won't get out today. It'll have to wait till tomorrow.
Okay. And then proof of employment within 45 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. I'm going to order no unsupervised contact with minors until you complete parenting classes. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So you can have contact with your child, but someone has to supervise. And if the grandmother,
It can't be her because there's no contact.
well, there's a no contact under this case. If for some reason the grandmother wants to have contact and wants to be the person who supervises, just let probation and myself know, and I'll lift the no contact order.
Thank you, Judge.
We're going to do anger management. So no contact with Nora Ramos. Right. And this is supposed to run concurrent with County Court cause number 6966403. And there's to be, I'm going to follow the recommendation for the TAP evaluation, which is intensive outpatient treatment with probation. And there's to be weekly sober support meetings. And I'm going to want field visits 1 time per month for 4 months. And after that probation, if you think all is well and he no longer needs field visits, you all can do the field visits as you see appropriate. Probation, is there anything else he needs? Mr. Yarbrough, is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
No, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled trial court certification. Oh, just one moment. Let me see if they did this in here. All right, good luck to you. We can go off the record from here on out. Everything you do, there are 2 questions you should ask yourself. 1, is the decision I'm about to make and what I'm about to do, could it potentially result in me going to prison for life? If the answer is yes, don't do it. If the answer is, it could, maybe it couldn't, don't do it. That whole thing that you're doing with your job where you know when they're testing you, so you're saying, well, I use marijuana on this day, not on this day, so I can get a negative test. Don't do that here because it may not catch you the first time, but ultimately it's going to catch you. And then you know what's going to end up happening? Warrant's going to be issued for your arrest. You're either going to make bond or you're not. If you don't make bond, you're going to be at the jail. You're going to be brought over in orange. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And just as a side note, how tall are you?
I'm 6'6".
Okay. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. All right.
Thank
Do
you.
better.
You have a wonderful day. Thank you.
All right. You too. Thank you.